A small business owner sent a proposal for a corporate event. Days passed, no reply. She assumed they had chosen somebody else. But before closing the conversation, she sent one final message. Hi, I'm just checking in regards to the proposal I sent last week. Please let me know if you need any additional information from me. Then a reply came. Thank you for following up. Your email actually got buried. We would like to move forward. And just like that, a conversation she had already assumed was dead turned into a contract. Now, imagine if she had sat there saying, if they want me, they know where to find me. That is what I want us to talk about today. The follow up. Not chasing people, not begging customers, not sending hello 5 times a day, but understanding that sometimes people are busy, messages get buried, decisions take time, and one professional reminder can bring a conversation back to life. Hi guys, welcome back to Life and Business with Sabi. If you are new here, this is a safe place where we have honest conversations about real life, business, faith, and many others. So stay with me, let's get into today's conversation. Today we're talking about one of those simple things that can make a huge difference in our business. But a lot of people avoid it because they do not want to look desperate. Following up. And I want to make this practical. Not just follow up with your customers. I want us to talk about when should you follow up, what should you say, and how many times is too many. When should you stop, how to do the follow up without sounding pushy, and how can you actually create a system around it so you don't depend on your memory. That is what we are talking about today. Following up is not the same as chasing. This is where we need to start. A customer sends an inquiry and they ask, how much is it? Are you available on this date? Can you send me your packages? You reply, then they say, oh, I'll get back to you. Then silence. 3 days, 4 days, 1 week, and now you want to message them, but something in you says, no, I don't want to look desperate. I've already answered them. If they want me, they know where to find me. And I understand that feeling. Nobody wants to feel like they are begging somebody to buy from them. But professional follow-up and chasing somebody are not the same thing. If someone clearly says, I'm no longer interested, leave it. If they say, please don't contact me again, respect that. If you've sent them 5 messages and they've ignored every single one, please move on. But if somebody made a genuine inquiry, you provided the information, and a reasonable amount of time has passed, one polite follow-up is completely normal. You are not begging. You are simply continuing a business conversation. Now we move to the point where we have to understand that people genuinely forget. One thing I think we forget as business owners is that our business are extremely important to us. But to the customers, it may be one small thing in the middle of a very busy week. Think about someone planning a wedding. They may be speaking to a caterer, a photographer, a videographer, makeup artist, hairstylist, designer. Maybe family members are calling them every 5 minutes. Your quotation may genuinely have disappeared underneath everything else. Now imagine that 3 days later you send, hi Sarah, just checking in regarding your catering inquiry on 24th of June. Please let me know if you need additional information from me. That message may actually help her. She may open it and think, oh my goodness, I completely forgot to reply. That happens. And that is why I don't always want us to interpret silence as rejection. Truth be told, sometimes silence is just silence. Now look at what some large companies do. This is something I find very interesting. Small business owners sometimes say, if they want me, they will come. Meanwhile, some of the biggest companies are following us everywhere. You open a shopping app, you look at one dress, you leave. A few hours later, you're going to receive an email. You forgot something in your cart. You don't purchase it, email, notifications, reminders. There's a sale, another message, you haven't opened the app in a while. We keep getting all these notifications and emails. These companies clearly understand one thing: customers needs reminder. Now, as a small business owner, please don't copy that volume. You do not need to bombard one customer with 8 messages within 24 hours. The point is not to become annoying. The lesson is simply this: if large businesses understand that customers forget, get distracted, and sometimes need a reminder, why should a small business owner feel embarrassed about one professional follow up? Ask yourself. And one other big one is, do not make decisions for customers. We sometimes reject ourselves on behalf of the customers. You send a quote, they do not answer, then in your head, you say, she thinks it's too expensive. They probably found somebody else. They don't like my work. They are not interested. Maybe, but did they tell you that? No. So why are you answering for them? If you follow up and they say, thank you, but we decided to go with someone else, perfect. That's fine. At least you know. If they say we are still deciding, that is okay. You know where you stand. If they say, oh yes, we forgot to reply, wonderful. Now the conversation continues. Sometimes clarity is better than sitting there and building a whole story in your head. Now let's move to one important question. When should you follow up? There isn't one universal rule for every business. The timing depends on what the customer is buying. If somebody is asking about an event happening next week, you may need to follow up sooner. If they're requesting a large corporate proposal, maybe they need several days to review it. If they're purchasing something small, the decision may be faster. But I generally would not send somebody information today and start chasing them tomorrow morning. Give people some room. For many ordinary inquiries, a few business days is reasonable. Then follow up. And please think about the time you are sending the message. Normal business hours are the safest. You don't need to message someone at midnight. Professionalism is not only what you say, it is how and when you communicate. And now we think about, what should the message actually say? This is where people actually overthink. The message can be simple. For example, a quotation: hi Amanda, I hope you're doing well. I just want to follow up regarding the quotation I sent earlier this week. Please let me know if you have any questions or if you need any additional information from me. Thank you. Done. For Instagram or WhatsApp: hi, just checking up in regards to your inquiry. I want to see if you were still interested or if there's anything else you would like to know more about. And that's enough. You don't need, hello, I've been waiting for your reply. No. That already sounds like the customer owes you an explanation. Your goal is to reopen the conversation and not to make them feel guilty. Now, another important point is, give the follow-up a reason. This can make your message even better. Instead of always saying, oh, just following up, sometimes include useful context. For example, hi, just checking in regarding your order for the 17th. That date is still available at the moment, so I wanted to see if you'd like me to reserve it for you. Or, hi, I wanted to follow up on your inquiry. We'll be closing orders for that weekend on Friday, so I wanted to make sure you had the information you needed. Now, the message has a purpose, but please don't create fake urgency. If there are 10 spaces, please don't say this is the last spot. When you are praying for first booking, trust matters. Now let's talk about, how many times should you follow up? This is where boundary comes in. For a small business inquiry, I think one proper follow-up can be enough. Depending on the situation, maybe a second one and a final one. After that, release it. You cannot drag somebody into becoming a customer. Your follow-up should feel like, I'm available if you still need me, not you must buy from me. And they are completely different energies. And once someone clearly says no, accept the answer gracefully. You can simply say, thank you for letting me know. I appreciate you considering us, and I hope your event goes beautifully. The person may not buy today, but they may remember how professionally you handled the conversation 6 months later. Now we move to another point where I want us to talk about follow up after the customer buys. This is another place where people stop too early. The customer had paid, they picked up the order, finished. No. Follow up afterwards too. Maybe the next day. Hi, I just wanted to check in and make sure everything went well with your order yesterday. I hope you and your guests enjoyed everything. That message goes a long way. First, it shows that you care about the experience, not only the payments. Second, if something went wrong, it gives the customer the chance to tell you privately. Third, if everything went on beautifully, that conversation can naturally lead to a review. You might say, I'm so happy you enjoyed it. If you have a moment, I would appreciate a short review. It helps our small business too. And we also need to follow up with people who already bought from us. As small business owners, we spend so much energy looking for new customers, and we sometimes forget about the people who already trusted us once. You don't need to disturb old customers every week, but if you have something genuinely relevant, do let them know. Maybe Christmas orders have opened. Maybe you have a new product. Maybe you offer a service that they previously asked about. Maybe you have a seasonal menu. Just let them know. This is not begging, this is customer retention. You are simply reminding somebody who already knows your business that you are still available. And we need to understand that follow-up goes beyond customers. Someone tells you, send me your CV, send it. If appropriate, follow up. Someone says, email me your portfolio, go ahead and do it. Then follow up if you haven't heard anything after a reasonable period. You met someone at an event and they say, we should collaborate. Don't go home and just hope they remember. Just send a simple reminder to them. You submitted a proposal, follow up. You had a business meeting, send a thank you message and summarize the next step. Someone promised to introduce you to another person. If enough time passes, please remind them. There are so many opportunities that disappear simply because nobody picked the conversation back up. Now, let's make this practical. Follow-up should have a system. Your business grows, you cannot rely only on memory. You have inquiries coming from Instagram, TikTok, emails, WhatsApp, phone, your website, referrals. Eventually, you will forget somebody. So create a simple system. It doesn't need to be fancy. You can start with a simple spreadsheet and you can simply name the callings, name the services or products, date of inquiry, date you sent the quotes, follow-up date, and status. That simple sheet will show you where every conversation stands, and that is how systems helps you. And let me say this, do not let pride disguise itself as confidence. And this is one of the biggest messages I want someone to take from this video. Sometimes we say, I don't chase. And yes, I agree. Do not chase. But sometimes what we are calling confidence is actually pride. There's nothing embarrassing about saying I am following up. There's nothing desperate about showing interest. There's nothing beneath you asking, did you get a chance to review the proposal? We have to stop thinking professionalism means pretending you don't care. Of course you care. You're running a business. You want the contract, you want the sale, you want the opportunity. You can want it without losing your dignity. Those things coexist. Now hear me, a customer should never have to chase you. And this is one of the biggest problems with business owners. Imagine telling customers they should respond to your follow-up while you take 4 days to respond to an inquiry. It doesn't work that way. If someone is interested enough to contact you, take that inquiry seriously. Even if you cannot give the full response immediately, simply acknowledge them. So now they know you have seen them, you have set an expectation. A good follow-up culture starts with a good communication from your side too. And to end it, I just want you to know that your follow-up can become your customer experience too. Imagine this experience. A customer inquires, you respond clearly, you send a quotation when promised, a few days later, you send a follow-up, a book Before the order, you confirm important details. After delivery, you check that everything went well. Later, when something relevant becomes available, you let them know. That customer feels looked after. It doesn't feel like pay me and disappear. This is a relationship. And relationships are powerful in business, especially for small businesses where referrals and repeat customers matters so much. So if you want something to simply remember, use this. Respond clearly to the original inquiry, set a reasonable follow-up date, send one short professional follow-up, give useful context when possible, respect the customer's response or silence, follow up after the sale, keep relevant past customers in mind, track your learning from inquiries, follow through on your own promises, and that is it. You don't need a complicated sales department. You need consistency. So when next someone says, I'll get back to you and they don't immediately assume the opportunity is gone. Give them time, then follow up respectfully, professionally, without pressure, and after you've done your part, release it. Thank you so much for staying with me through this conversation today. If you enjoyed it, please do not forget to subscribe to Life and Business with Sabi. Also comment, share, and I will see you again in the next video. Peace. Bye.